Okay, that's the order of the presentation for this afternoon. You have to look at from the bottom part, like Ideal, NYP4, Pony Adventurers, Team NYP3, then followed by the break, NYP2, Zookeeper, and last NYP1. Okay, so Team Ideal, are you ready?
Hello, hello, hello. 1, 2, 3. Alright, hi, good morning, good afternoon everyone. My name is Ryan, and today me and my team, Team Ideal, will be presenting to you about our design approach to, which is entitled D-Hub, which we envision it to be the next incubator of high technological startups. So, before I begin, here's a brief overview of our team composition. Our team comprises of architectural, landscape, engineering, and as well as interior design backgrounds. So, our presentation is broken up into 5 different segments on how we will approach what D-Hub is about in terms of its design, in terms of our energy considerations, structural materiality, our key learning points, and the overview of the video. So in close proximity to the site is this upcoming digital district known as Punggol Digital Hub, which will be the upcoming platform for innovation of technological revolution ideas from millennials. So we hope that our site will be able to support these upcoming startups by using our site as a form of support to the bigger site itself. So in order to understand what a startup is about, we've broken up into three main sequences in terms of what ideation is about, development, and also the post-rationalization of what the idea is about. So typically we understand that from the very beginning, there's always the issue of low budgeting within startups. Then there's also the issue of development where you need constant feedback from your survey group, which we want to further aid in our design. And also then there comes the post-rationalization where either your design or your proposal is either in demand of the market or not in demand. So we hope that with our concept of how small startups will be able to have this constant feedback through the provision of architectural spaces provided within our site to promote collaboration zones, as well as a bigger floor plate area that is usable to the small startup, and as well as workshop spaces that will provide potential TED Talks from existing successful business models that we hope that may be able to mentor these startups to become a successful development themselves. In terms of how we reacted to the site, we primarily tweaked our massing in terms of how we want as much water frontage for the offices or water views for the offices, as well as much more filtration of sunlight into the varying offices through the intensive terracing, and as well as devoiding the massings in order to allow sunlight to filter into the deep floor plates. So from a cross-sectional cut of our building, we understand that these voids not just allows filtration of sunlight into the spaces, but as well as it acts as a privacy buffer between the private and the public spaces. And with these voids, it actually creates this central cavity of collaboration that we want to actually try to express within our massing. Also with the understanding that the site is an existing natural landmark to the existing community, where people immerse themselves in nature. So we don't really want to remove that idea away from the site, but actually kind of retain such ideas through our reproposal of like the extensive landscape promenade, which initially people would use to jog around the site, as well as not enclosing our site off to the public, but also creating landscape paths that meanders through our architectural design, which then also leads up to environmental friendly play areas, such as the environmental biotope that is family friendly as well. So now moving on to the main program spaces in terms of the floor plan. The second story mainly consists of the library, which is mainly connected here, which is a central research space where little startups will be able to collaborate and as well as research about their varying ideas. As well as creating breakout spaces as we terrace out our massing to better create a form of relaxation for the startups, as well as collaborative zones that tie the floor plates together, and also a recreational deck that blankets throughout our architecture. So we also understand that there's this interesting sensational quality of the site, where how the harsh daylight actually filters down through the leaves and into landscape paths, existing landscape paths. So we actually want to recreate that sensation, that natural sensation within the site as well, as the light filters down from the filters and bounces off the collaborative spaces and into the landscape path itself. Similarly, we want to create that same natural aspect of lighting, the quality of light into our auditorium. So in terms of how we integrate computation into our design, we actually create varying fins that act as railings, as well as privacy screens within our deep collaborative space that will provide a certain sense of privacy for the varying programs, which we will touch on later on. So we also propose, so here is a rough visualization of how we envision how a typical small startup would be like. We're trying to create creative spaces that allows startups to have much more creative work environments, and as well as consideration of expansions from how there will be bigger tendencies. Okay, so sorry about that. So here is also a rough overview of like how the expansion of spaces or the expanding tendencies will look like. So it's just mainly two PPVC modules that would be removed of their center partition and become a bigger space. So now I'll pass on my time to the energy consideration segment to Liang.
Okay, good evening, judges. Good afternoon, judges. As part of a passive design strategy, we hope to use convection currents to promote wind ventilation through openings and. So for our environmental study, we have solar analysis. The legend shows sun rays ranging from 0 to about 800, which is indicated as the orange rate. And looking at the building side view, the roof experiences high intensity rays. And this is expected as the building is taller than the surrounding trees. And this shows that walkways get to enjoy natural light. And for our wind analysis, for our first and second picture, we have stream tubes which represent wind paths, and these show that outdoor spaces get to enjoy the breeze when wind blows over the building facade. And the internal spaces allow for wind to travel through, which is evident through the slopes and turns. And these voids allow for the breathing of building, as seen through the escaping stream tubes in this third picture. In general, the wind funnels and pockets of holes within the architecture gives way for natural wind, and this is in hope of reducing the forced ventilation. Now for our load calculation, we have standard loads such as lighting and aircon, and this is to help understand our energy usage. Based on the building design, we estimate the area of our solar panels to be about 1,600 meters squared, and clearer photos of the load calculation can be found at the end of the report. So now, let's look at these two graphs. From the first, we can gauge what loads are the power-hungry ones, and this is as indicated by the aircon, which is the gray area. And we are estimating yearly results of about 38% energy production to 62% consumption, and this is considering if the building is open for 5 days with no usage of loads on the weekends. So next, the implementation of green roofs and green balconies help to block out the heat from the sun. And this is able to help indirectly cool the building and reduces the need of energy to cool the system. And with the presence of plants around the solar panels, we hope that the overall temperature is kept lower so that we can ensure efficient energy generation. I'll pass my time on to Leggy.
So as one of our green feature that we integrated into our design is by having this cleansing biotope, which is integrated with the water playground. So all the water, we have wisely choose this vegetation that filters out the pollutants from the water and then recycle back. So this actually contributes to the ABC active and beautiful clean water design. So we also included a rainwater harvesting system to recycle all the water that we harvested for the irrigations of plants. And also, for our wildlife and environmental protection, we try to identify those native plants, and we also look for the existing flora and faunas, and then we try to preserve them through some design. And as our approach in the wildlife, the environmental protection, all the fallen logs from the Casuarina tree, we actually recycle them into signages benches and boardwalks, and some natural play element which is inspired from the various fauna in Coney Island.
Hello. As for civil side, we integrate the usage of MET, and as you can see on the screen, there are 6 pointers. 2 points that I want to point out is that the reduction of manpower on site and also fast construction, which has been used by NTU to build the NTU Wave and also the NTU Academic building. And as you can see, this is the Soho modules, which includes 4 PVC. And why we show this is because it can be constructed easily and can also be deconstructed easily. And lastly, as you can see on the screen, all of the grid lines are all standardized to 3 by 3 km by 3 by 3 km. This is because of the transportation, where we can transport the PVC faster and efficiently. Now I pass my time to Joseph.
Okay, so what you see here is how we collaborate. And these 2 parts are integrated. For clash detection, we use Navy's work, and we actually resolve all the problems. This is the modeling of our PBU unit in the Soho unit. And by resolving them, even though we have some issues, some central model problems, like this BRA, we call them the central models that we use, which is BIM 360, Revit, and AutoCAD, we actually use the supporting softwares to support this ecosystem. So we also use the HVAC tool, as well as BIM 360 for collaboration. Now this is our construction timeline, and basically it's about 3 times faster than most construction projects. We will only take about 9 months altogether with 35 weeks. This sequence you can ask us in Q&A later. And for this, what we want to just highlight is that for the small holders, like startups, like people who don't have the cash, they have a small space, but they have a lot of collaborative spaces that can